this, I could, let's see if I can do this. No, can't do it that way. Anyway, I cut out an access panel, and whoa, this, all that dirt and all that little pieces of something were in there. And I'm going to try this at a low pressure and see what happens and not warp stuff, and yeah, that's what I'm going to do today, for a little while anyway. I mean, it's not rocket scientist, but I'm not going to say I know what I'm doing because I've never really used one of these. There's a valve there, there's a valve there, that's for air. I think this is a valve to feed, and then there's a valve on the sanding thing, and I guess the point is when they package the directions and you actually take the time to read it, and you get to the point where you can't read it, yeah, you need to go by the pictures. I've never used that. That was my dad's. He actually got 2 of them. Like he was going to have a sandblast on it. I'm not hating, I'm just stating he'd buy stuff. But I usually use this sandblaster right here, a Cadillac, where it blows sand out and sucks it back up. But that's going to be kind of difficult to use. Or use a big sandblaster. But anyway, what I do is, when I know the sand is going to, you know, if I'm going to use it in a sandblast box and recirculate it, I use, I don't know, Black Stallion or something like that. It's not sand. But this I'm going to do sand because it's going to go over the ground anyway. I try to recoup some of it, so I use the house screen, and I just spend like $3 for play sand. Yeah, and because I found where sometimes you'll get big rocks in it, and yeah, you don't need to be blowing out a nickel size, or I'm sorry, dime size rock against the panel. Yeah, I'm sure it'll ding. Anyway, that's what I'm going to do, and show you when I'm done. Even though sand is cheap, I don't use it in a sandblaster because it just creates too much dust and it breaks down just way too quick. And I use, like I said, I use a screen, and the screen is quite small. And could I shove those in there? No, I could, but I don't. I won't. I want to be consistent. I'm not trying to create damage. I'm trying to clean up damage. But that's just my opinion. I'm sure everybody knows how to do this stuff. You've done it before. And there you go. Dark camera view going on. There you go. Hello. There we are. Got the coffee can of your choice. Now I do use sand to glass etch because it's softer when I etch onto glass. I don't want it to be abrasive. And sand is more consistent in size, and it's more smoother once you etch glass. Just my opinion, not that anybody wants to know anything about that. But it's just how I do it. Precaution. You know, I've got gun-ho, and yeah, I've actually got gun-ho in my S10 truck, etching the windows, and I wasn't paying attention to the air. I usually run about 60 to 80 pounds when I glass etch, but when I was in Ghetto Garage, I wasn't paying attention. So now I'm real anal or real cautious about how I do things, because I had it set up to the air pressure. I didn't turn the gauge down, and I set it up to 200 psi, and you'll be able to tell. See how that's consistent right where this finger is? Well, you look right there. That is really deep right there, where if you could feel it, it almost blew a hole through it. So that's why crows, these crows are gonna when these crows get over on this side, because there ain't no houses here, I'm going to be taking them with the 22 pump. That's what I'm going to be doing, because I don't know why we got crows around here. They get annoying. Yeah, anyway, next. Was I able to get every little piece of... Let's see, I turn some light on, more light. Every little piece of... No, I'm sure I didn't get everything. Whoa. But it sure does look better than this. You're never gonna get everything. Could have split it. Yeah. Could have drilled all these spot wells out. Yep. Nope. Nope. I'm not restoring the damn truck. Sandblasted those rough spots I had there. Yep. And it's a dirty job. Especially when you're down underneath here looking up to try to get these two things right here, the inside of wheel wells. Yeah, you get sand. Yeah, you get sand everywhere. That's why wear a mask, earplugs, and this quality Harbor Freight that'll stop dirt from getting in your teeth and toes. But it works, kinda. Better than what I left, I'll tell you that. I know I'm going to need some more sand. Should have known 50 pounds wasn't going to be enough. But it's a start. And look, Mom. I didn't even warp the metal like a certain gentleman told me. Oh, don't sandblast. Yeah, maybe he meant well, maybe he didn't know what the fuck he was talking about. You know, maybe people don't realize just because I ask questions doesn't mean I don't know what I'm doing. Maybe it means that I'm getting more information so I don't make a mistake. Because, you know, this isn't the first time I've been to a fucking rodeo, boys and girls. And anybody that's watched more than a minute knows this. Enjoy your evening. I think it's a good idea to stock up. This is the second tip I've already went through. They're pretty cheap. They burn through quick. But you get what you pay for, don't you? I think I'm gonna have to go back and shoot some more. Look like I might have missed some spots. It's getting dark. And after that, yeah, look like I missed some right there. Yeah, right there. And I put bed liner in it. That's what I'm doing. Say goodnight, Irene. Good night.